serving what I gross.
What I gross.
Survey says you not even close. Everybody's bosses till it's time to pay for the office. To them invoices separate the men from the boys. Over here we measure success by how many people successful next to you. Here we say you broke if everybody is broke except for you.
Alright, so guys, welcome to the vlog of the Meridian Mastermind 3.0. This is actually the second day. First day we just recorded like the clips of the actual lectures and stuff like that. So mixed in you'll see like Bob wearing different clothes. Oh yeah, by the way, Bob's joining me for this one, so he took over for the first day primarily. I'm taking over for the second day, so you'll see Bob in like two different outfits, probably me in two different outfits probably. That's because of, you know, some of the lectures and the modules I'll show you were from yesterday, but the vlog commences today. So yeah, it's currently 8:03 and we're about to kick off, so 3.0, here we go.
Let's switch again. Thanks. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Do you think that so let's keep with Iman for the left top one. Do you think that he would want you to do like a free trial for a month? No, he doesn't give a fuck. I'll pay you, and if you're not good, I'll fire you. Yeah, somebody who's for security. Yeah, I mean if you can show me results in the beginning, that's perfect. Like there's no risk for me. Profit, you know, maybe a little discount. The problem with discounts is people get used to that price. So if you offer a discount, make sure you pre-frame it, right? So listen, you know what? Normally it's 1,000, but I'll do it for 500 for this month. But if we reach, and then you set goals, let's agree that if we make this many sales, we're going to go to 1,000 afterwards. So you pre-frame it. And convenience, go free. I just want you to take care of me. You know, make sure that, and that you pitch that really well. Like make sure that, you know, I'm not all over the place. I know what to do. You're taking care of me, and I can focus on the things I'm good at. So that's good. Now, we were talking a bit about you already. Yeah, let me just say a few things I would say for SNMA as well. I think sales recognition for, you know, that was pretty good, right? You, as I said, I mentioned Bang & Olufsen, for example. And I wouldn't really say like, oh, you know, yeah, I work for companies like Bang & Olufsen, but I'd just say, oh, let me show you some results I got with Bang & Olufsen. So again, it's not, he's sort of in control, and then he probably, oh wow, Bang & Olufsen, that's a cool company. How did you end up there?
Just to catch you here. That thing with Bang & Olufsen, I think that put me in the position to say, okay, I will buy Iman's course, the SSMA, because I said, okay, hey, this young kid working with Bang & Olufsen, and this put me like, okay, I'm buying it.
Exactly. Big names, that's so important. And you can even go to a big company, you know, and say, you know, I would love to do this for free for you if I'm allowed to use your name and share results. Then you're really investing in, you know, your time. Yeah, they might just pay the ad spend, for example, or even if I would have to pay that to get Bang & Olufsen as, you know, a use case, it's worth it, 100%. Yeah, you were pitching a bit like, yeah, I've done due diligence and I've seen things which aren't good. Always try whatever you're pitching, whatever you're doing, the hamburger menu, which is what I'm doing to you right now. I start really positive, like, oh, wow, you did this really good. However, I think this and this and this could be, you know, better. So positive, a bit negative, and I end off positive. But just the fact that you mentioned that, or just the fact that you're doing this, is really good. So, for example, if I think you're doing something bad, and I say, listen, your advertising is just not on point. You're leaving so much money on the table. You're like, who the fuck are you, right? Yeah, but like, oh, I've seen you've already started doing Facebook ads. However, I saw you haven't installed the Facebook pixel, so I think you can really improve on that. But just the fact that you already started is like beating a lot of competitors. So I'm still saying you're fucking up in a way. But you like me because that's what they call the hamburger, like positive, negative, positive. Yeah, and that's a really powerful way as well to do that. So I would definitely use that for security. And yeah, convenience is, I would probably say, you know how every business owner knows that in the back of their head, it's like, I know I have to post, I know I have to be on social media, I just don't know how. We understand. So what we really do is we take away that, you know, that fear. We take care of everything. You can stay in control. You can see what we post, right? But you know, let us focus on those things so you can really, so you bring the convenience.
They just have one website. They've taken all of the variables out of the equation. And that's what I like to do with my marketing agency, right? I don't have an office. Why the fuck would I have an office? It just puts way more variables back into the equation. Now, don't get me wrong, some people, like for example, some people, I even think about it sometimes. Sometimes I do think about getting an office, not because I know it's a smart move, just because like, sometimes I wish I had what Bob has, which is like you can come in and you've got like a family there, right? Yeah. But from a purely financial standpoint, in terms of marketing, and just in terms of having a marketing agency, I'm not talking about, a web agency or a clothing company or whatever it may be. I'm just talking strictly marketing agency. It is the stupidest fucking thing you could ever do, having an office. And people ask me all the time, they're like, Iman, why, what if the client says, you don't have employees or an office, what's up with that? It's super simple, right? If you're charging them a £3,000 a month retainer, you go, look, I'm charging you £3,000 a month retainer. If I have an office, that goes up to £4,000 a month. I have an expensive espresso machine. I have employees. I have to pay for employees' insurance and stuff like that. So you're gonna get the same service that you're getting right now for $3,000, and I would charge you $6,000 for it. You're not gonna get a better service. You're just gonna subsidize my fee for my rent, for my office rent, and my expensive Nespresso machine, and having to pay for my employees' food, and all of this other stuff that has no effect on you. So I can offer you the same service. In fact, I can offer you a better service because my team has been trained, and also they're all around the world. So we're working round the clock. Monday to Sunday, 24 hours between, however many I have, for example, like 6 team members pretty much, or 5 pretty much full time, and then 1 who does on and off. So my agency works around the clock, 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay. And when you tell them like that, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because sure, they'd like to have the prestige of having a marketing agency that has cool offices they can go into and stuff like that. But if it's going to cost them double the price and they don't get a better service for it, then they're like, oh, okay, fine, okay, that's cool. So really, what you want to do with your marketing agency is you want to eliminate as many variables as possible, right? And the first thing I always look at doing in terms of variables as well is, can a robot do it? Because if a robot can do it, I would take a robot over a human any fucking day of the week. Can a robot do it? Yes? Okay, automize it. The robot's gonna do it. The system's gonna do it. If a robot can't do it, okay, fine. Automize. If I can't automize, then I delegate. So who can do the job for me, right? And here is what I would say like the holy grail of having a marketing agency is. When all you have to do is sell the service. When that's all you have to do, it's the most amazing thing in the world. So no matter if you guys are serious about getting to multi 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, what you want to do is you want to productize a service. Because a service you reach so many issues with scale. For example, your personal training, that's a service. But when you can either leverage a group setting, so for example this, not many people can afford one-on-one mentoring with me. But when I split the time over 4 people, then it gets a bit cheaper, right? For me, it's the same thing, but for the consumer, it's a bit cheaper. With you, for example, rather than someone coming in for £75 an hour personal training, they can split it with other people. They're still pretty much maybe they're getting 80% of the quality, but it's £6 rather than fucking 75. Okay, so when you're doing done for you services, the next thing and when you're doing services, the next sort of paradigm shift you need to make is either done for you in a situation with you, with your personal training, or for example, if you're doing coaching or mentoring, done for you, you go from done for you to like leveraged group coaching setting, or in a business, in a marketing agency, you go from you doing the work yourself to I have other people doing it and I can actually just move the business forward. Now, the paradigm above that is when you productize something, right? So for example, with me, the reason that my info products can scale so quickly and I can make so much money from them, it's not like I put my attention more on the info. I spend more time on the marketing agency, I'd say I spend equal time on the marketing agency and the info products. It's just, you reach issues of scale with the marketing agency because it's not a product. It's fundamentally, you can never really make it a product. It's a service. But when you have a product, which is, for example, the info products, you can sell as many as you want. And also because it's information, there's no issues in terms of fulfillment because it's all automatic. There's no issues in terms of cash flow because what cash flow? I don't put anything into inventory, right? So that's kind of the holy grail of social media marketing is when you can get it as close to being a product rather than a service as possible. Okay, and I'll show you a couple ways to do that here today. Number one, getting a team member from the get-go. One of the things that I see so often that really pisses me off is when people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn Facebook ads and then I'm gonna sell it. I'm like, no, you're not gonna sell it because you're gonna spend 3 months learning Facebook ads. You would have acquired no sales skills whatsoever, and sales is the most important thing. Number two, by the time 3 months comes around, you're gonna be in such a scarcity mindset because you're gonna think, oh, I've been doing this for 3 months and I've gotten no results. No shit, you've gotten no results. You haven't sold shit to anyone. The only way you move forward in your business is selling. You don't get paid when you learn about Facebook ads. You get paid when you sell Facebook ads. So I see this all the time. It really pisses me off. Unfortunately, that's a mistake I made when I first started. When I first started, I did all the Facebook ads myself, and my first 3 clients lost. Right? Lost them within 2 months, all 3 of the first ones. Because I was shit. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So instead, if I can, really just give you guys advice, it is find a high quality contractor from day one before you even need them. And don't find 1, find 2, and don't find 2, find 3. Because 1 might get sick, 2 might fuck off and decide to do something else, and at least you got a 3rd one now.
Or this cream.
And number 2, if you find number 1 and number 1 is so much better than number 2, this is the advice I gave to my top student in 6-figure SMA, Steven Tran, who in 48 days did $52,000. I need to check where he's at now, but yeah, a couple of it, yeah. But that's the advice I gave him. He's like, Iman, what do I do in terms of scaling this? And I'm like, okay, tell me what your team looks like. And he's like, okay, I got my Facebook. I'm like, well, first of all, I'm like, do you actually know how to do Facebook ads? And he seemed a bit like tentative. He's like, to be honest, dude, I don't. And I'm like, thank you. And he's like, what? He's like, I'm like, thank God you fucking listen. Like, no one listens. Like, you did it right. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're working on the business, not in it, right? You're doing the thing that it brings the highest yield, the highest return, right? And the advice I gave him is, I'm like, dude, I'm like, how many Facebook contractors do you have? And he's like, 2. And I'm like, okay, is your top guy a lot better than your second top guy? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, here's what you do. And I'm not gonna state the exact numbers that he pays these guys. We're just gonna use $1,000 as just a metric, right? So let's just say he pays the guy $1,000. I told him, here's what you're gonna do, $1,000 per month per client. I went, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna talk to the guy, you're gonna call him right now, and you're gonna say, hey, all of tomorrow, I want you to go through the workflow. And basically what I want you to do is I want you to create a mini program, like do a screen recording, and I'll pay you $4,000. So I'll pay you 4 months of a 1 month or 1 client retainer to do this for me. And I went, here's why you do this. Because if your guy leaves, you're fucked. If your number 1 leaves, you're fucked. But if the guy leaves and he leaves what he knows, all his knowledge, the guy's replaceable. And you've got an efficient marketing machine that runs forever. Okay? So that's number 1, finding a high quality contractor. Now, a couple pieces of advice when finding a high quality.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting as much value. I remember talking with you, Iman, on the phone, and you told me, well, I don't see why after the event you wouldn't be making 6 figures. And I was like, okay, whatever. And actually right now I feel like, okay, I know what you mean. Like I actually, my amount of certainty went from 10% to 100%, to be honest.
Systems you get to get into another level. I don't know anybody who can teach this like that.
Systems, which is my main thing, systems, and how Iman was able to do the things that he's able to do, as well as Bob being able to do what they were able to do, and efficiently, and still be able to have time to be able to enjoy life, which is what it's all about for me. So I definitely appreciated the systems.
And guys, I gotta tell you, it is freaking amazing. I mean, like I had these expectations and Iman just break it to the roof, and it's just crazy, it's mind-blowing. If you got the chance to get here, you gotta be here.
Just like it's so easy, really. Like I just see it so easy right now. When he's breaking down the way you broke it down, it's just like you just gotta do it, really.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog of the Meridian Mastermind 3.0. Big shout out to Bob. I literally begged him for months and months to come out and co-host one of these things. So big shout out to him for bringing his 15 years of entrepreneurial experience and wisdom and whatnot. Now guys, this event, the Meridian Mastermind, it's the cream of the crop. Really, I do reveal everything. And I remember the first time I actually did this thing, I was literally shitting myself because I'm like, do I let people come into my house for the space of a weekend for 2 8-hour days and give it all away? And I'm so glad I've done that, because every single Meridian Mastermind has just gone better and better and better, because when I'm giving everything away, now keep in mind, pretty much everyone who comes to Meridian Mastermind has already come through 6-figure SMA, Influencer Ignited, etc., etc. So, you know, they can come in, you know, with a little bit of experience, or most of the time they have experience with other entrepreneurial ventures and stuff like that. But you know, they can come in and I literally give it all away, and in the comfort of my own home. So I remember the first time I did it, I was shitting myself, but you know, we're 3 Meridian Masterminds in, and I said, I'm so happy that I made the decision to actually go ahead and move forward with setting these events up. Now, unfortunately, most of you guys know that I am actually leaving London in December. From now on, I'm doing 6 months in London, 6 months abroad. So spending the summer in London, because, you know, London, you know, I need to spend more time in places like New York, LA, but at the end of the day, for me, London is still my favorite city in the world. So I'm gonna be going to Bali for either 2 or 4 months, still yet to decide. So I can only, you know, I'm only having a few more of these Meridian Masterminds, and by that point it is done. And it's funny, one of the, I asked a lot of the Meridian Mastermind attendees, you know, why are you actually coming to this thing? And they're like, oh, I knew no matter what I had to get to this thing, because I know that next year this exact same event is gonna cost me 10-15K per seat. And that's really true, you know, because to be entirely honest, like, my business is still scaling. You know, this month, when I say this month, I mean July, I'm almost certain I'm gonna hit 80 to 90K. I retallied last month, ended up on $74,000 profit, so best month ever. And this month we are only 10 days in, and I'm already at 35, 36. Checked my business bank account yesterday, minus some of the expenses, and I'm already at $35, $36,000 profit. So I'm pretty confident in at least an 80 to 90K month profit this year, or this month. So, you know, pretty much by the time next year rolls around, I'm confident that I'll be doing $250,000 to $500,000 a month. So they're pretty wise. So anyways, really, there are only a few more opportunities to actually come to one of these events. Now, I'm having one in September. I think it's September 1st and 2nd. 3 of the 4 seats have been booked. So there's 1 spot left. And then in October, I opened up another one 4 weeks later. And I think that might be potentially the last or second last Meridian Mastermind ever, or Meridian Mastermind as we know it. So guys, right below this video, there is an application form. Go ahead and fill that out and make sure you are here either in September, you snag that last spot, or you are here in the October one. So as I said, go ahead, fill out that application process, and hopefully we will be on the phone soon. All the instructions are down there. This thing is so heavy. You know, the A7R with the Joby Gorilla Pod, this thing is so freaking heavy. Also got some pretty cool, exciting news depending on when you're hearing this. There is a guy called Nabil who's actually coming out here to London for 4 or 5 days, staying with me, because we are trialing, kind of staying together, working together. If you guys know a guy called Christian Guzman, he was his videographer for a while for summer shredding. So hopefully I'm gonna be snagging Nabil and taking him out to Bali with me. That's the plan. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff ahead. And yeah, I mean, I just can't even express how grateful and happy I am right now, you know. Business is going great. I've never felt like, I'm really starting to feel in touch with my purpose and you guys, and like, especially these Meridian Masterminds, they get me so fired up, because physically seeing face to face what a difference, you know, your information, your knowledge, your expertise can have on someone. And like, every single one of these attendees, like, they left and they're like, there's quite literally no way that I don't hit 10K a month income within the next 30 days. Like, it's not feasible after this. So as I said, just in general, been a really good few months, and I'm really excited to go out to Bali. I'm really excited to bring Nabil with me. Hopefully, you know, that works out, and we're a good fit for each other. That's why he's coming over here to see whether, you know, for a few days, after a few days, we should be able to assess whether it makes sense for him to fly out to Bali with me and my girlfriend. And if he does, then one thing I've noticed a lot about the digital marketing space, just to kind of like finish this off, digital marketing or entrepreneurship space is, or even more so digital marketing, it's like people build followings, but no one really builds a movement. You know, I guess you could definitely say Gary Vaynerchuk is probably the only one I've seen who's properly built a movement. And that's kind of what I want to do, and I feel as though that's what we have on a smaller scale on my channel, and especially through my my online programs and stuff like that. It's literally such a tight-knit family. But the thing is, a lot of people ask me like, why don't you vlog? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Guys, number one, my day is boring. Number two, the reason that I've had accelerated success is because I don't focus on the stupid shit. I focus on the things that'll bring the highest return on investment, and like just really move the business forward. I'm a very practical guy, If I hire, I at this point I have like 3-4 full-time people that work for me. I have 2 other people that work pretty much half-time. If I bring on Nabil, you fucking bet that it's not gonna be cheap to have a full-time videographer and editor and stuff like that. But the reason I can do all of this stuff is because I was practical, and I always stay really practical. And because I have so much cash in my business account, I can afford to kind of have these lingering expenses, right? And other thing is, like, for example, even with my 6-figure club, so all of the people who hit 6 figures in my online programs, I'm actually thinking about getting everyone customized pinky rings. Now, that's not cheap. That's really not cheap to get dozens of people customized pinky rings. But once again, because I was practical at the beginning, because I focused on the most important stuff, which is sales, building my agency, building my affiliate marketing business, building my info product business, focusing on the webinars and the retargeting campaigns rather than like coming out with just random YouTube vlogs about nothing. Because I did that, because I was so practical, now I can do the stuff that's a bit less or a bit more impractical. So yeah, just some really exciting stuff, guys. As I said, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but down below, go ahead, make sure you are here at one of the final Meridian Masterminds, and yeah, look forward to speaking with some of you on the phone.